Peace and blessings, family. This is Brother Mike X. Welcome to another clip on my YouTube channel, Brother Mike X Speaks. I was asked by a friend that I have on social media to shoot a new clip specifically talking about why Black history is so important, for us to take advantage of. As you well know, it's February, Black History Month. And, as I'm saying this, I'm going to speak specifically to why Black history is so relevant to Black people. But at the same time, I also want to say that Black history is relevant to the whole world, because the whole world has been robbed from knowing, the contributions of Black people, to this society, not just in America, but in the world, and I do believe that there are a whole, not only do we not know our history, but the rank and file white person, the rank and file Chinese person, the rank and file Jew, the rank and file, Italian, whatever, so many other people don't know the significant role that Black people have played in the world, in society, historically, and even up to today. And because they don't know, just like we don't know, we don't afford ourselves the respect, the pride, the dignity, the integrity that would come from, such a rich history that we have. And neither do they. They look upon us the same way we look upon ourselves a lot of times, that we have done nothing, that we have contributed nothing. And, we're just lazy, we just don't want to do any better, but not realizing that because our history has been stolen and our history has been obscured and ignored, and buried, that this stops us from being able to walk in the footsteps of the giants that have come before us. I wasn't always, a conscious, aware, Black person or Black man, that was able to speak intelligently, and clearly and with power, the way I am today. I was raised in the 70s and 80s. I was born in 1969, and I was raised in the 70s and 80s at a time when Black history and Black culture and Black pride had been, as I said, destroyed. It had been buried. It had been pushed to the side. And what's crazy is it was so close to the civil rights and Black power movement that it just shows you how powerful the mainstream media and the public schools and the interest can be when they want to hide things and they want to obscure things, how powerful that they actually are. Being born right on the cusp of where there were so many great and powerful people, Black people walking in this society, people like Malcolm, people like Huey P. Newton and H. Rap Brown and Stokely Carmichael, later who became Kwame Ture, Shirley Chisholm, and just so many giants, Elijah Muhammad, and, to be born so close to the civil rights movement and Black power era, and to be born at that time and to be raised in the 70s and 80s and have no clue that these people even exist. That just shows you how powerful they are, and have been, and this is why it's so important for us to make every effort that we can make to recover that history, So again, I was raised in the 70s and 80s. And as a young child, I loved school like so many other people. When I first started going to kindergarten, preschool and kindergarten, I loved school. But like so many others, by the time I had reached third grade, I had lost that love for education, for going inside, the schools. I still read. I always loved history. I always loved history as a young boy and even as a grown man now. But and I used to read about the whitewashed history that the mainstream media forces down our throats. And so I was reading about their history. I was reading about Ponce de Leon, and his, he was supposed to be looking for the fountain of youth. I was reading about Marco Polo and, a Eurocentric, white man who went to China. He went to China and he met Kublai Khan. And, I was reading about Balboa, and how he was supposed to be the one who discovered the Pacific Ocean. I was reading about Magellan, and he was supposed to be the white man who was the first one to circumnavigate the world, the earth. I read about Pizarro, and I read about, Cortez and of course, Christopher Columbus. I don't know if I said that, but let me just throw Christopher Columbus. I read about all of these white Eurocentric conquerors and imperialists and how they dominated the earth. And reading about all of these things, it always fascinated me because, like I said, I always loved history. But coming into a greater knowledge of that whitewashed Eurocentric history, it did not push me or prompt me to develop a sense of who I am as a black man, and a sense of, I want to be like them, or I want to be better, or even believe that I could be better. So even though I knew all of these things, it didn't promote in me any sense of educational excellence, where, knowing all of these things translated into me striving to be the best student that I could be. And I know and believe that this is because I wasn't being offered any images or any knowledge of anyone who looked like me, that had did anything noteworthy. You know what I mean? So I began, like many others, thousands upon thousands of others before me and thousands upon thousands after me, even on to today. I didn't believe that education was something valuable, to my black life. And so I didn't apply myself in school. I would show out, I would show that I was gifted when it came time to take those citywide tests, that they give every year. But during the school year, I didn't see it as anything valuable to me to really lock myself in and commit myself to taking advantage of the educational process. And so I came up, through my teens. I wound up eventually getting my GED, general equivalency diploma, and I hit the block. I hit the corner. I wasn't selling drugs. I wasn't gang banging or banging or anything like that. But I believed at that time, like so many others believed before me, and thousands of others after me, that to be a black man is to be hanging on the corner. Drinking, smoking, talking shit, and, chasing girls and just wasting hours upon hours upon hours. I couldn't see, because I didn't have an understanding of who I am as a black man, a positive understanding. It was easy for me to fall into this negative, belief system of being black is to be standing in the pissy staircases, is to be standing in the park, is to be, standing on the corner, talking shit and wasting time and what have you. And it wasn't until hip hop came along, in the late 80s and 90s, and was used by, people like Rakim Allah, people like KRS-One, people like the Poor Righteous Teachers, my man Wise Intelligent, Tragedy, the Intelligent Hoodlum, Brand Nubians, and so many others. They came and they began to use hip hop to teach us and expose us to our history that we knew nothing about. I remember KRS-One, with my philosophy, and seeing this dude with the glasses, the horn-rimmed glasses, with the angry face and the finger pointed. And I later came to find out that this was Malcolm X. And I knew nothing about him and what he meant and what he tried to do. And, and of course, like I said, came into knowledge of others like the Black Panther Party and, you know, the Nation of Islam and so many other groups, you know, Marcus Garvey, you know, W.E.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, you know, Denmark Vesey, Paul Robeson, you know, yo, do your homework. I'm giving you names that you need to know about. You know, great and mighty black men and women, Ida B. Wells, you know, Mary McLeod Bethune, you know, even Madam C.J. Walker. A lot of people think that Madam C.J. Walker just, you know, invented the straightening comb and she just did hair products and what have you. But Madam C.J. Walker, not only was she the first black millionaire, but she was a contemporary of people like W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington. And she strived to use her position as a millionairess, you know, to fund educational pursuits for black people to become you know, educated and you know, and knowledgeable so that they can, you know, reach for a higher level than just being, you know, down and out and former slaves and all of those types of things. So anyway, this hip hop helped me to learn the importance of being black, of being prideful, of being knowledgeable, and using my mind, using my body, using my spirit, using my voice to speak life into my own life and to speak life into our condition coming up out of the projects where I grew up. You know, it helped me to leave the corner and it helped me to find direction and purpose. You know what I mean? And to use my life in a way where I can agitate and help other people to find themselves the same way I found myself. You know, when I first read the autobiography of Malcolm, it set my world on fire. I liken it to, I always say, I liken it to like the first 20 years of my life, I lived inside of a dark room, you know, where there was no light and I had never seen any light. And I was striving to get around in this darkness, and I was stubbing my toe and banging my foot into the walls and in the furniture because I couldn't see. And then when I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, it was like, let there be light. I began to be able to see what had been done to us to keep us down and out. Up until that time, I just thought that we was just a bad luck case. You know, we just was inferior. We just, you know, it was just something wrong with us. But when I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, it helped me to see that this was purposely done to us, you know, where we was forced, you know, not to be able to read and write, you know, during slavery. And even after that, there were things that was done to hide our history and our accomplishments from us so that we would believe that we've never done anything. And if you believe that you've never done anything, you'll actually believe that you can never do anything. And so after that, I wanted to be an activist. I wanted to be like Malcolm. I wanted to be able to use the power of my voice, the power of my mind, to be able to liberate our people. And I've been studying, you know, for the last almost 25 years now. And I read and I study on many topics. You know what I mean? Of course, I had to first know about us and what we've done. And I tell you again, family, Black history is the world's history. KRS-One once said this. When we talk about Black history, I know that they try to push it into 1 month, the shortest month of the year, but Black history is actually the world's history. You know, Black history is the truth. You know what I mean? Everything other than Black history is a lie because it's taken it's taken us out of it. And when we study and we begin to learn, we begin to realize that we are the foundation just about for everything of prominence that has been brought forward in this world. It leads back to us. I know in high school, they try to trick us into believing that it's about the Romans and it's about the Greeks. You know what I mean? But no, it's about us. You know, the farther and farther we go back, we find that we have been at the forefront of just about anything that has any relevance. Science, mathematics, you know, architecture and engineering, you know what I mean? Consciousness is all leads back to us. You know what I mean? So family, I'm running out of time and I might have to do a part 2 on this. But yo, do the knowledge, family. Take advantage of Black history and take advantage of the names that I dropped. and take advantage of your life. It's worth more than you're giving it. You know, peace and blessings, family. Stick with me.